Welcome to part 3 of the manipulation tutorial. I guess it's not much of a tutorial as much as a principle to go for. Okay, focal. Beauty thing about a focal is this. I'm going to go ahead and use the focal as a diagram for focal tie-in. So, focal tie-in, right? But I'm not going to get to that yet. It's very boring. We've also got to go with behind focal effects. Now, a lot of people are already saying that there's a lot of messy stuff in here, but if you don't embrace all of it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead, get some plain C4Ds, go ahead, I'm either going to use some Buddha. Actually, for once I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and go with some sci-fi-ish C4Ds. The reason why this is important to do is oh my god. What? Hello? Okay. Now I'm back to give you as much information as I possibly can about why I'm doing what I'm doing. Basically, string effects have been used several times to create effects, but it's basically just smudging. And my effects, I want to go ahead create using the C4Ds to get that nice effect going. Now we just go over. Actually, give me 1 second. I did not want that to happen. But essentially, that is what you kind of want to go for. C4D, stringed, smudged. Okay. With that being stated, you want to go ahead and create a box below it. Now mind you, this is not a tutorial to follow to exactly copy. It is a guideline, however, to make sure that you get the best work possible that you can. It should teach you how to use effects, but it shouldn't teach you just to copy them. That's not my goal here, and if you think it is, then you have to find a different teacher, because I'm not actually trying to teach you how to use all of these. These are more mere guidelines. Like, I'm trying to color dodge some of this, but I don't want to go ahead and go overboard. Some of this is actually very easy. Oh, sorry guys. Very easy to go ahead and light. So, okay, what I'm going to do, and I suggest you do it, is just find a general area you like. Like, I'm really digging this red, but I don't want to overdo the red, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and leave it where I've got it. With that being said, I do believe now would be a really good time to crop it where I want it. I don't want it in the middle, mind you. But I can dig it somewhere around there. And the reason I'm cropping it like this is because I want to just get it done and out of the way. Okay, now some more effects behind this would be very handy to have. Let's just get some color. I mean, there's a bunch of different effects out there. I personally am going to try, maybe, I'll try this out. And since this is a direct, sorry, I didn't want to hit my ruler. Since this is a direct type of, you know, spacecraft fill, not crap. Anyway, you want to make sure that you get it where you want it. Like, for example, I want her to think that there's escape. So, Okay. Mecha C4D, or as another term is a machine. And I'm just going to call this mecha again. And the reason is not actually trying to create that effect. I just want to make sure that it goes somewhere. So I'm going to duplicate this one more time. And I know I'm using a lot of different shit. I'm not saying you guys have to use this. I'm trying to get you guys to focus on doing as much the groundbreaking work as you want. Okay, now with the not the adjustments, but the shapes, for example, the white shape, I could easily just blend this in shape, which I'll go ahead and make it a 15, right? So the 15, to get the effect that I want, I could erase this top area, but then it takes out from the lower part. So I'm just going to go ahead and lower it. So this allows the shape to not necessarily be as bright. Okay, now the part of that you want to mecha is behind her already. And it's going to require a set of adjustments to group itself here. Adjustments. Okay, and the beauty thing about these adjustment piles is that I can go ahead, take this folder, right? For example, I can duplicate it, call it merged, B focal effects for behind focal effects. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do, since adjustments are up there, I'm going to go ahead and merge this one. So, merging the group right there. See, that's not what I particularly wanted. So, I got to figure out what went wrong. I bet I know. Oh, okay, on the merged effects, you can go ahead and delete the lighting. Sorry, my bad. Merge group, sometimes you don't even remember what you put. And anyway, you can hide pretty much to a degree. Like, I don't want this lighting to be as bright as it is. So I'll go ahead and put it like that. Now this focal can actually go down one more. Call this lighting for BFOC-effects. And this way, this one can be hide. Okay. And now, what you essentially got to learn is you have that big C4D that's going to get a lot of adjustments. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and create a vibrance layer just for the effects. And you're going to clip and mask it. The reason you're going to do all this work is you're going to now take this, press Control U. you're going to change it to the color you need. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make it purple. And I'm going to go ahead and take another 2 brush, try to get these string effects to pop out a bit more. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get a bigger one. And this way, it looks like my whole idea for this would be stringed. Now, this color is a very hard color to pull off. So I'm going to go ahead, try to string it how I want it. Okay. Now that I'm on a key, how I want it done, I'm going to go to a contrast layer. A lot of this has to do with this right here. Create a clipping mask. See, I can make it as bright as I want. I really could. But I don't want it. Like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw a gradient map just on these right here. So, create a clipping mask. And okay. Now, to do this, you want to add a bit of a texture, not too much. So, I do want the color. Okay. Now, comes the fun adjustments. And that will be to an exposure, or actually pretty much a brightness layer. There we go. And if I wanted to, I could take this texture. I could go ahead and go really low on it. But then all you'd see is a bunch of C4D effects, basically. But I will be adjusting her, and this is what a focal tie-in is. And basically, it's called slash manip. For example, if I wanted to open up and back to Buddha's, sorry, I gotta go ahead and go into C4Ds, Buddha's. I wanted this nice silver piece, right? Because I think it will just be an excellent piece. So, I'll go ahead and pop out just a few. What I think is acceptable. You go ahead on this, you go ahead and take off what does not look right. Okay, so you get a smaller brush, 18, take off right above the eyebrows. Just get right into the hair. Okay, now the beauty of this is you can go ahead and take a 3. Just kind of smudge in her hair. Gotta be very careful though. Okay, you go ahead and you smudge this one up. And basically you have the very first effect of what you want. So this is hairpiece. Then you go ahead and Control U it. Give it a different color than what you want. Really depends what you're going for. Okay. So you got the hairpiece. Then you're going to go ahead and connect some other pieces. Like these. So, what you're going to do is you're going to make these really small. I see these being, and a lot of times when you do this, you want to think of a concept that you're going through. I do the same thing when I do some digital painting. I don't necessarily post a lot of that on the forums, but I do find it relaxing. You're going to go ahead and make it as small as you can. Shoulder. So you could make it earrings if you wanted to. Or a necklace. The problem with it being a necklace is there's just not a lot of space, but you can figure a way to readjust like a brooch and change the color to match the silver. You might have something. They're a bit darker. Get some light. Get a hint of blue. Might be able to get it to the silver that I'm trying to get it to. Okay, I'm gonna change this to necklace. I was debating what I was gonna do with it, but every artist goes through the same stuff. Now, you have these. These are very good. Go ahead, Control T. And with that as everything, you want to fully label everything. This is more of kind of a effect more than anything. I'll probably put this as a depth effect. And then go ahead and Control C, Control V, or just duplicate the render, call it depth effect. Now these are C4Ds, so okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this. And the reason is tie in the render, nothing else. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it the other way. And that way, you don't necessarily see it as anything else. Okay, now, with that being in, there's some adjustments that I'd like to make. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and vivacity the whole thing. And I'll tell you why. I want the effect to go off without a hitch. I do think texture tags can do that quite well. So, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Probably readjust too much of the crap. But I'm also going to change color balance over the whole thing. This will allow me to control what I feel I want done with the piece. Okay, now shadows. Okay, now a lot of the problem that I'm gonna have with this is I've gotta readjust. I think it's one of these adjustments. Okay, with this being said, I think it's time to go back to the background. And this is why you also do this. Clean it up. For the love of God, clean it up. So you take a 100, you put it on the opacity. Go ahead and clean it up. It won't matter. And the reason I'm texturing some of it, not all of it, is to get a general effect that I wanted. Now, the beauty of it is a lot of this is just minor cleanup. You can easily take care of all of this. For example, the effect that I'm using with the merged, if I wanted any of it erased, I could. So the before effects that I use, which is the light, sorry, my adjustments, if I didn't want half of that shown, I wouldn't have to. But the stronger that is, the more I can get done with it. It still feels like it's missing something. So I'm going to fuck with it still. Which is easy to do considering the focal's right there. And behind effects. All I have to do now at this point is create and open an effect that I want. These balls are perfect for that. Oh, I put in the wrong one. That was very bad of me. Anyway. These are just simple ways to make sure when creating a piece, you always know what you want. I don't want that many balls. But they definitely add kind of what I'm looking for. So duplicate the balls. And now, the beauty of this is you just close it on up, close this up, close that up. See, these are just additives. And you just go click, click, bam. Then you go ahead and do that. And I am going to go ahead and show you how to finish a tag off. Just want it bright enough for that. And comes the fun part. Final adjustments. One of these adjustments is called a burn / dodge layer. One of these adjustments is a lighting layer. And voila. Now we get down to the fun part. I don't want this necessarily. I kind of want a pinkish, reddish color like that. Right? Pretty. It's actually not as pretty as you guys think. A lot of it is going down, finding exact match for the soft light, for an overlay. See, and then say we wanted to go ahead and use that. You still have to be extremely careful, because if I don't select, when I select overlay, change the color, Control U it, allows me to get a color that I want. Reason why this is important is it allows me to highlight that said color over. Oh, give me 1 second. I gotta do this, sorry. Now I can go back to overlay. Say this. And go ahead. Copy it over her. Copy it there. And right there. Right there. And then to overlay it on that. And do that. Okay. And this is the beauty of it, because if you want to go ahead and add anything else, you could. Or you can just complete it with some text. Personally, I'm not going to do either. But I am going to go ahead and adjust the light with the board and darts. Press Ctrl-Alt-Shift-E. It makes a full layer. Okay, now you go ahead and take the dodge tool where the light is and where it would hit. I think it would hit there. I also think that the lighting would hit on part of the shirt, not all of it. I do believe the lighting would also hit on his hand or her hand, but not too much else. Now the final part of this is just getting the right fill. Hard light would be one of those. Very nice tools. A very soft light would do very nicely. And then if you go ahead and make it about 50% done, you get that pretty effect. And then you have a final piece. Now the reason why I'm showing you all this is we use textures, C4Ds, and all these effects, but without labeling them, you wouldn't know which ones to go back and edit. You would basically be screwing yourself for failure. No project in any business, whether you use Photoshop, Illustrator, or anything, goes done without labeling. It's a very important thing. This was kind of about manipulation, but realistically it is about knowing your tools, how to use them efficiently to create what you want as a goal. So thank you guys. If you want any other tutorials, let me know. I mean, I'm gonna have some renders for you guys and a bunch of other stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you guys come to darkarts.com and visit more often. We would love to have you. Thank you.